Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Happy Freaky Friday to all you freaks out there. Hope your day and your week are going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money, guys. It's Freaky Friday, so of course you know that means we have our 5-leg Freaky Friday parlay. But on top of that, if you can't tell by the thumbnail, we cashed last night. That's right, day one of our ladder challenge was a success. We cashed a 2-leg parlay plus 105 odds, so that means we're on to day 2 of our ladder challenge. A little early Christmas gift for all you guys. You get 2 parlays in one video. But first, guys, before we dive into today's parlays, we do have to do a quick little recap of how we did last night. Gonna jump on over to the GuyBostonSports.com website. Like always, guys, I post all my plays and results in the website, so go ahead and check that out. We also have individual tabs for myself, Ev, Trey, everybody for picks. So here was yesterday's plays. We'll go ahead and zoom in here. So we had our parlay yesterday, 2-leg parlay plus 105 odds. Jason Tatum cashed in the third quarter, and Mikal Bridges almost cashed in the first quarter. He had like 12 points plus assists in the first quarter, so it was never a doubt. Mikal Bridges cashed this in points, so he had 29 points, so it was a no-doubter. Both of these props, they went way over the line. We probably could have went a couple points higher, but you can't get greedy. We hit a plus money parlay. Let's take the victory and run with it. So 2-leg parlay plus 105 odds, really good results there. We also have our single bet results. We handed out 3 picks yesterday. We were so close to a clean sweep across the board. Ivica Zubac had a great game. Mikal Bridges, again, he cashed this line in points alone, never mind rebounds and assists. But we also had Nikola Jokic over 50.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. We did miss the mark. He finished with 48 points plus rebounds plus assists, so we just barely missed the mark there. But overall, a pretty solid night. We went 2-1 last night, plus 0.63 units. We're now 72-64 on our single bets, plus 0.46 units on the season. Again, the units are not very high because we took some gambles earlier in the year, but overall, we've handed out way more winners than we have losers, so we're having a pretty solid year in our single bet category. And then our parlays for the ladder challenge. I am counting the ladder challenge parlays in the parlay bet record. I'm just not putting, for example, all right, we put 2 units on, or whatever the units we put on tonight's parlay, whatever you do. Let's say we get to day 4, right? We put like 8 units on the parlay. I'm not going to put that profit in the record because that's not accurate, especially for the ladder challenge. We're going to operate as if every parlay we do is 1 unit. So 1-0 plus 1.05 units. We're now 7-12 on the year, plus 2.69 units on our parlay category. Again, I don't know if that made sense what I just said to you guys, but I'll handle the records. Don't worry. But yeah, so a really solid start to the ladder challenge, guys, and there we go. The ladder challenge results from yesterday. Day 1, 2-leg parlay plus 105, so we're up 1.05 units. Again, this is the part where we'll see a little divergence where myself, personally, my strategy, I take the unit, put it back in my pocket, and just go with the 1.05 units on today's parlay. Some might put 2.05 units to put the whole thing. That's really your decision. Myself, personally, I do it where I take that initial unit, put it in my pocket, and that way if I lose, I break even. I don't lose any money on this thing. But if I win, obviously I win. So up to you guys. The last time I know I mentioned it all the time. That's the last time I'll mention that. But we're going to be, myself personally, I'm going to go ahead and put 1.05 units on today's 2-leg parlay as part of day 2 of our ladder challenge. All right, guys. So we've gone on long enough. Let's go into today's picks. We're going to start off with the 2-leg parlay as part of the ladder challenge, and then move into the Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. Guys, I want to do a little giveaway. I know every Freaky Friday, usually I tell you guys comment Freaky down below, and if the parlay hits, you get a gift card. Today, I don't want to do that. It's the holiday season. You guys are awesome. I love the community. I love the viewership. I want to give something to you back to you guys. So, comment your favorite Christmas movie down below, and I'll pick one lucky comment to win a free $25 Amazon gift card, regardless if a parlay hits or not. Just comment your favorite Christmas movie down below, and if the parlay hits, if it force a habit, just comment your favorite Christmas movie down below, and I'll pick one lucky comment to win a free $25 Amazon gift card. Help you guys with some last-minute Christmas shopping, whatever you want to use it for. So, without further ado, without any more delay, we're already 4 minutes into the intro. Not very good. We got a lot of picks to get to. Let's dive into today's parlays. All right, jumping to the outlier screen. Like I said, guys, starting off with the day 2 ladder challenge 2-leg parlay. This is going to be a 2-leg parlay plus 141 odds on DraftKings. So a little bit higher. Yesterday was plus 105. Today plus 141. I'm putting 1.05 units on this parlay. The first leg of our 2-leg parlay, we're targeting the Bucks-Cavs game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. we're going Jared Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers over 9.5 rebounds. This is an alternate line, of course. These are all alternate lines in today's video, so the data is probably going to be pretty good across the board. You see 6 of Jared Allen's last 10 games, he's cashed the over, a 60% hit rate, averaging 9.2 rebounds per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, a 70% hit rate. He's cashed the over in 19 out of 27 games, averaging 10.3 rebounds per game so far this season. So that data overall is fine and dandy, but the real reason why I like this prop is the head-to-head data is absolutely fantastic on this prop. You see the head-to-head data, each of his last 6 meetings with the Milwaukee Bucks, Jared Allen has crushed this over. He's averaging 13 rebounds per game against the Bucks over their last 6 meetings, a 100% hit rate. He's played them 2 times already this year, on November 2nd and November 4th. He had 12 rebounds and 15 rebounds the last 2 times they played. Look at the rebound opportunities too, pretty good. 22 rebound chances the last time they played on November 4th, 21 rebound chances on November 2nd. So the opportunities are there, and he has pretty good numbers against Milwaukee. Even like his points, assists, everything across the board for him looks solid against Milwaukee. I'm rocking with the rebounds because the data looks the best and the matchup looks the best. But I don't know what it is for Jared Allen, but when he plays the Bucks, he just gets extra motivated to show out. Overall, Milwaukee, not a great rebounding team, 21st in rebounds allowed so far this year, 44.6 rebounds per game. Versus centers, they're 15th, about literally middle of the road, giving up 12.1 rebounds per game to opposing centers. We only need 10 rebounds for Jared Allen to cash it again. He's cashed it in 6 straight meetings dating back to December of last year. So I like the spot for Jared Allen. They got some injuries for Milwaukee as well. No Dame Lillard. Giannis might not play. That obviously would help with the rebounding if Giannis is out. But yeah, I think Jared Allen over 9.5 rebounds looks like a really solid spot. And then the second leg of our 2-leg ladder challenge parlay, we have Thunder Heat, 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder over 4.5 assists. Again, data is pretty solid on this one. Guys, see 8 of his last 10 games, he has cashed the over, an 80% hit rate, averaging 5.4 assists per game over his last 10 games. So some pretty good numbers there for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. On the year so far, a 74% hit rate. He's cashed this over in 20 out of 27 games this year, averaging 6.11 assists per game this season. So really good numbers across the board for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on this number. The head-to-head data is also pretty solid. Now, a smaller sample size compared to the last prop we just gave out. But each of his previous 2 meetings with the Miami Heat, he did cash the over. Of course, both these meetings taking place last season, 100% hit rate, averaging 7 assists per game against Miami. Shai's averaging 12.7 potential assists per game this season, so he's averaging about 7 assists per game. He's putting up a ton of potential assists. We know he plays a ton of minutes. The fewest minutes he's played in a game so far this year, guys, is 27.6 minutes back on October 30th, and let's go ahead and see. I believe he cashed, so we don't really need him to play. Yeah, he had 5 assists in that game, so we don't need him to play 35 plus minutes. It's an alternate line. We just need 5 assists. I don't think he needs to play 35 plus minutes. He is playing on a lot of, not very much rest here, but the data shows it doesn't really matter all that much. We'll see here, 3rd game in 4 days. Obviously, he had the NBA Cup final. He played last night. You see this year so far an 83% hit rate when he plays on his 3rd game in 4 days. So the only time he missed it was versus Portland, but overall the data is pretty solid, averaging 7.5 assists per game. And if we go ahead and look at his when he's playing on a back-to-back, which he is, of course, back-to-back data, 75% hit rate this year, 3 out of 4 games, again, averaging 7.75 assists per game. The only miss was versus Portland. So overall, even when he's playing on limited rest, I still like him in this spot. Miami's a good enough team where this game should be relatively close. And then, of course, from a matchup standpoint, overall, the Miami Heat are bottom 10 in the NBA in assists allowed, giving up 27 assists per game versus point guards. They are 28th, the 3rd worst team defensively in the NBA to point guards in terms of assists allowed, giving up 10.7 assists per game. So a really solid matchup spot here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. All right, guys, so that is our 2-leg parlay as part of our ladder challenge. Again, 2-leg parlay plus 141 on DraftKings. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 4.5 assists, and Jared Allen over 9.5 rebounds. We're now going to go ahead and move on to the Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. All right, guys, so here we go. First leg of our 5-leg Freaky Friday parlay. We're targeting the Hornets-Sixers game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're going Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Again, this is another DraftKings parlay. These are all alternate lines. You know the drill by now. 6 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. A 60% hit rate, averaging 35.3 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. So far in 2024, though, a 67% hit rate. 12 out of 18 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 33.72 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. So solid data overall. The head-to-head data is also pretty solid. 5 of his last 6 meetings with the Charlotte Hornets. He's cashed the over. It's an 83% hit rate, averaging 36.5 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. Now, the good news is he has a couple data points for this year, actually within this month as well. You see December 3rd versus the Hornets, he had 31 points plus rebounds plus assists. And then on December 16th, just a few days ago, he had 50 points plus rebounds plus assists. So the Hornets seem to be a really good matchup. The one time he missed it back on January 20th of last year, he just barely missed it by 3. So he had 27 points plus rebounds plus assists. So really good data across the board here for Tyrese Maxey. Look at the matchup versus point guards. It makes sense. Now Maxey's playing majority point guard this year. The Sixers really struggling. 27th in points allowed, 27th in rebounds allowed, and 17th in assists allowed. So a really good matchup here for Tyrese Maxey. And the data seems to suggest this is a pretty good chance for a cash. All right, guys. Second leg of our 5-leg parlay. Sticking with the same game, actually, we have Hornets, Sixers, 7 p.m. tip-off. We got LaMelo Ball over 6.5 assists. Again, the data is really solid on this one as well. 8 of his last 10 games, including 6 consecutive games, he's cashed the over. An 80% hit rate over his last 10, averaging 8.8 assists per game this season. So far in 2024, a 60% hit rate on this over. 12 out of 20 games he's cashed it, averaging 7.5 assists per game this season. So across the board, really good data on this LaMelo prop, and the head-to-head data was also pretty solid. Now, not as much of a sample size as Tyrese Maxey, but he has played the Sixers twice this year already. He's cashed the over both times he played. In that last meeting back on December 16th, he had 12 assists, so a massive performance here. Again, we only need him to get 7. He got 8, and he got 12 in the previous 2 meetings. In his last game versus the Sixers, when he had 12 assists, he only played about 26 minutes in the game, so we don't need him to play a ton of minutes either, which is a good thing here. He had 22 potential assists and 14 potential assists in the previous 2 meetings. Again, we only need 7 assists for him to go ahead and cash the over. The matchup overall, the Sixers this year, 23rd in assists allowed to opposing point guards, give up 9 assists per game. So good matchup here for LaMelo Ball. All right, guys, our third leg, moving back to that Cavs-Bucks game, our third leg of our 5-leg parlay. We're going Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers over 14.5 points plus assists. The data on this one is actually really, really solid. 7 of his last 10 games he's cashed the over. It's a 70% hit rate, averaging 21 points plus assists per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, an 88% hit rate, a whopping 88% hit rate. He's cashed the over in 22 out of 25 games this year, again averaging 21 points plus assists per game this season. So having a really solid year, only 3 times versus New Orleans, which is a blowout, versus Boston, tough matchup, and then versus Miami. Those are the only times where he failed to go ahead and cash the over. And if all of that didn't convince you guys, the head-to-head data is also very solid. Each of his last 2 meetings with Milwaukee, both taking place this season, he's cashed the over. He's averaging 19.5 points plus assists per game against the Bucks this year. He had 19 in their first meeting on November 2nd and 20 in their second meeting on November 4th. So a really solid matchup versus power forwards, which is where he primarily plays. They actually rank pretty well, 10th in points allowed, 18th in assists allowed. But again, the fact that he's cashed it both times he played this year, he's hitting it at an 88% hit rate so far this season, I have to go ahead and rock with this prop. In our fourth leg, guys, sticking with the same game with a familiar face, we're going Jarrett Allen over 10.5 rebounds. Now in our parlay for the ladder challenge, we did 9.5. You guys can obviously do that same one again, but I'm going one up to add the value. We're going Jarrett Allen over 10.5 rebounds. It's actually a plus money play as well on DraftKings. Now, the data is not as good as it is when you're at the 9.5 rebound line, but it's still not bad. Now, over the last 10 games, averaging 9.2 rebounds. Again, now just a 30% hit rate. When you do it at 9.5 rebounds, it's a 60% hit rate. But so far in 2024, he's cashing this line of 10.5 rebounds in 56% of his game. 15. Sorry, guys, trying to go a little fast because I'm losing my voice here. I'm a little sick. Didn't mention that early on, but I'm losing my voice as we're going, so I'm trying to get through it before I lose my voice in this one. But 56% hit rate. He's cashed the over in 15 out of 27 games. So at the 10.5 rebound line, the data is not as good, but it's still pretty solid overall. So good marks here. 10.3 rebounds per game average this season. Again, 9.5, the data is much better, but overall, still a worthy spot for plus money too. Really good value here. And the head-to-head data doesn't change. He's still cashed this line in each of his last 6 meetings versus Milwaukee. He's averaging 13 rebounds per game versus the Bucks. He's got 12 rebounds, at least 12 rebounds in each of his last 6 meetings. So for him to get 11 rebounds in this one, I think is a pretty fair bet. And again, versus centers, they're 15th, giving up 12.1 rebounds per game. So, yeah, it's a little bit more risky, but I like the spot still for Jarrett Allen over 10.5 rebounds. All right, guys, in the 5th and final leg of our Freaky Friday parlay, we're going back to the Thunder-Miami game, back to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but a little different this time. We're going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander SGA over 1.5 3-pointers made. The data is really solid on this one. He's cashed it in 7 of his last 10 games, a 70% hit rate, averaging 2.3 3-pointers made per game over his last 10 games. So far in 2024, a 63% hit rate on the over. 17 out of 27 games, he's cashed it, averaging 2.07 3-pointers made per game this year. So pretty good numbers across the board. And look at the usage rate. Again, we know he plays a lot of minutes, but the 3-pointers attempted, he's taking over 6 threes per game on average, and he's hitting about 33%, averaging about 2.1 3-pointers made per game. So all we're asking him to do here is hit his average. Now, the head-to-head data, again, is a small sample size, but pretty solid. Each of his previous 2 meetings with the Miami Heat, he cashed the over, 100% hit rate, averaging 2 3-pointers made per game against the Heat. Overall this year, Miami, they're bottom 10 in the NBA in 3-pointers allowed, giving up 13.8 made 3-pointers per game to opposing teams versus point guards are 21st, again, bottom 10 in the NBA, giving up 3.3 made 3-pointers per game. So all we need him to do is hit his average, do what he's done in the past, 2 3-pointers made, and he cashes his line. All right, guys, so those are all 5 legs of our Freaky Friday parlay. Just a quick little recap. We have Jared Allen over 10.5 rebounds, Evan Mobley over 14.5 points plus assists, LaMelo Ball over 6.5 assists, Tyrese Maxey over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 1.5 3-pointers made. When you parlay all 5 together, you get a parlay of plus 635 odds on DraftKings. So pretty good value there. Really good spot. Plus 635. We can do this, guys. We're 1 leg away every single week. I feel like we're definitely due to finally hit a Freaky Friday parlay. So plus 635 odds. Really love the spot here. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. And one more time, guys, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another NBA player prop video. But until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Freaky Friday. Enjoy both parlays. Hope we hit both and we have just a really profitable day across the board. I hope you're all winners. We'll see you back here tomorrow.